Hi, I'm Mark Ramsey. There's an episode of an old show called Tales from the Dark Side, and in it, a grumpy old grandfather character, played by the great character actor Eddie Bracken, is literally falling apart at the breakfast table. Every day he comes down. The guy is so stubborn he can't admit that he's dead. As a result, he's stiff, pieces of his body are falling into his breakfast. He will not admit it. Right up until the climax, when his nose literally falls into his plate, he looks down, sees his nose, realizes that he's dead, and says, okay, that's it. Now I get it. I'm going to go upstairs and lay down for the final time. What does it take to bring people to that level of recognition that something has changed severely? It was interesting a few weeks ago when I posted some data that I gathered from the Radio Research Consortium, Arbitron data, that indicated that overall radio listenership, the fraction of the population that listened to radio, in the past 3 years had gone down by 13%. Let me repeat that. Overall radio listenership, the fraction of the total audience, total population, who has listened to radio has declined by 13%, more than 13% in 3 years. That's in the top 30 markets, the PPM markets. A real number. All radio. Some people freaked out. Some people freaked out in a very weird way. I discovered that Arbitron was calling around trying to find out how I got that data. That's an odd thing, considering the data is accurate. Why do you care how I got the data? It's accurate. Shouldn't that be what we care about? I got notes from people saying this data is wrong. It's about public radio. No. This data is about all radio. Why do you choose to deny what's right in front of your face? I made the point in the post, and I'll make the point here again. Until you acknowledge reality, until you see your nose floating in your breakfast cereal, you can't act accordingly. You can't act properly in the real world unless you see the reality of that world. This is why newspapers are engaging in all manner of experimentation right now to sustain their model and to build new elements to their model and to maximize their value as a media company in their local markets. It's because they recognize these trends. They acknowledge these trends. They don't deny these trends. Ditto for television. If you're a network, you're probably vertically integrated right now because the cable operator owns the network, owns the movie studio, and all of this content is swirling around through the various channels, all owned by the same people. There's a recognition that people watch more and more video today than ever before. They just don't watch it on primetime television. That's okay. If you acknowledge it, you can accept it, you can plan accordingly. It's time for radio to acknowledge facts. Because when you acknowledge facts, you will look around at your environment and say, how can we leverage our relationships with the consumers and advertisers so as to create more value for each group using the power and the permission that we have today? Irrespective of whether more people than ever are listening to radio.